Just got kicked out of the game. That's the way to go, huh?
Remember a fan like that before?
Yeah. You got something to say, at least think about what you say. That's what I always say. Because when you fight in our league, in basketball, baseball, any organized sport, last time I checked, you get kicked out.
All right, well, in case you didn't know, the guy that he was yelling at, this guy right here, was in the stands.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. Yes, I was in River Falls over the week. Yes.
I'm just kidding. DA from 610 Sports joining us. You and I have both seen Herm Edwards in that mood towards us, so.
Yeah, which is funny that he says, if you're going to scream, know what you're screaming about, because I believe it was Herm who was screaming at me, and he didn't know what he was screaming about that last time. So I guess what goes around comes around. I like how just Herm picks out random strangers in the crowd and starts dressing them down. I feel like we're all part of it now. We're kind of a close club.
We're going to start a club online or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's nice. Yeah, the Herm Edwards Abuse Me Club.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this team right now. The big stories are who isn't there. Dwayne Bowe is maybe the one we're surprised isn't there. Larry Johnson, we all kind of expected this. How long do you think this can drag out between Dwayne Bowe?
Well, with Dwayne Bowe, it's kind of a rite of passage in the summer that the first-round draft pick of Carl Peterson will hold out, and his agent will battle Carl for every last cent. The thing that's really holding this up right now is just really how it was slotted, that Brady Quinn thought that he should get top 10 pick money, and he was picked just before Dwayne Bowe. And since there is no official slotting system, you'd have to believe the Bowe camp is waiting for Brady Quinn to sign to see what they can then get just under that, except it seems like, if you hear GM Phil Savage of the Browns talk about it, Brady Quinn and the Browns are nowhere near a deal. So this could be longer than expected with Dwayne Bowe.
And then what about Larry Johnson? How long do you think this takes? 3 preseason games, maybe?
I think, and I said this before training camp started, I think it's going to take right until the first week before the regular season opens up. I really believe the Chiefs understand, and Carl Peterson understands, without Larry Johnson, you're a 5-11 squad. With Larry Johnson, you give yourself a chance. But I think this will take the entire preseason. This will take all of training camp, the entire preseason, and then a few days before this team goes down to Houston, I think LJ will sign.
This has been a very interesting camp. Priest Holmes shows up. He's just a complete sideshow right now. He can't even practice for a couple of weeks. Do you think he will ever play a game this season for the Chiefs?
Not for the Kansas City Chiefs, no. I mean, if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, Priest Holmes right now, if you assume Larry Johnson will sign, is your 4th best running back. I mean, let's face it, Michael Bennett's your 2, and Colby Smith, the rookie from Louisville, has shown plenty so far in his early days in rookie camp, OTAs, and now training camp. Priest Holmes is no better than your 4th back right now. The guy's been out of football for 2 years, and oh, by the way, he's going to be 34 in October. Not exactly easy to get back into NFL shape. I don't think Priest Holmes ever plays another down for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Are you okay going in with Michael Bennett possibly as your starter in Week 1?
I'm not okay. I mean, not if I want to do anything better than 6 and 10. I mean, look, Michael Bennett's a nice complimentary back, maybe a nice change of pace back, and Colby Smith, I think, can be a feature back down the road in his NFL career. But, a two-headed monster of Michael Bennett and Colby Smith is still far inferior to LJ carrying the rock as a feature back. So if this team wants to be competitive this season, they have to pay LJ his money, and I fully expect them to do so after a long and, tenuous wrangling.
Let's shift gears a little bit here. It's just been an interesting week with the Royals. Obviously, Buddy Bell says he's not coming back. First of all, do you think that hurts them at all?
I think so. I think naturally, this team seems to start building some affinity towards Buddy Bell. And, as much as he's lost here in Kansas City, this is a team that's now had 2 straight winning months for the first time in 4 years under him. And I really think that these young players respect him and like playing under him. And so I do think it hurts their consistency. And I think it's a natural distraction. The players can say all they want about, we're going to go out there and play forever and we can't let this affect us. But it's human nature. If your boss leaves your work and says, okay, I've got 2 months, you're naturally going to have that in the back of your mind. Okay, who's my next boss? So it'll affect them, and it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it gives the Royals an opportunity to start fresh, and I think a lot of Kansas City Royals fans believe, Buddy Bell was fine for this interim period, but it's time to actually start putting together a team and a manager that's included that can win.
Dane Moore has obviously shown that he's going to change the way things are run. Buddy Bell was not one of his guys. The current other coaches, not his guys in the minor leagues, not his guys. Does he go outside the system then, and does he bring in a big name? Do you see him bringing in a guy in Major League?
Well, we saw Dave Moore try to make a big splash with Gil Nash. He wanted to send kind of a shockwave across Major League Baseball. This is a different era of Royals baseball, so don't be surprised if he thinks the same thing with this baseball team from a managerial sense. We also know his ties and his loyalty to the Atlanta Braves. Just look back to the trade deadline with the starting pitching trade of Kyle Davies. So don't be surprised at all if Terry Pendleton is the early leader in the clubhouse, because Dayton Moore has ties to him in the Braves organization. But, you know, I don't think it's too much to suggest that Joe Girardi, Terry Pendleton, and Bob Remley could all be in the driver's seat as potential candidates. And then, you know, a lot of Royals fans would like to see Frank White. Those are all big names, but I think the Royals' job, and Dayton Moore suggested this, is actually a very coveted one right now in Major League Baseball.
Now, everyone's going to be talking about this manager situation, but they can't forget, they changed the draft system this year where you have to sign your guy by August 15th. The Royals picked this Mike Moustakas, a high school kid with the number 2 overall pick. We knew he was a Scott Boras client. We knew it would be tough. They made it sound like, yeah, it's going to get done. It hasn't gotten done yet. Should we be worried?
Absolutely. I mean, we're down to, 10 days before this thing is done, and Moustakas goes back into the draft next year. You know, you look at how Major League Baseball did this. It was going from an entire year of negotiation to now just 2.5 months. So every team is under the gun to get those guys signed. Moustakas and the Royals aren't the only team that are apart right now, but absolutely Royals fans should be concerned that their first-round draft pick, Matt Moustakas, who, you know, you would hope was going to be one of the cornerstone pieces of the Dayton Moore rebuilding project, is not under contract now, and we don't know how close they are, and they've only got 10 days to do this.
And his agent has said, you know, going to USC, which is the school he's committed to, wouldn't be all that bad. He claims he could make just as much money if they hold out. So this could happen, and all the Royals are getting compensation is 2A next year, which could be the 3rd or 4th pick. But you would lose a whole year of bringing a guy along in the system. It really hurt them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and having, you know, a top 2 draft pick. You know, I mean, how important is it for this team to have the opportunity to pick at the very top of the draft and take the guy you really want to take, and then when all is said and done, not actually getting that guy? It would be devastating for this franchise.
All right, that is the information right there for the DA show. He is DA from 610 Sports. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
You got it.
All right, stay with us. Still coming up next, the voice of the Royals, voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, joins us from their scrimmage. That's right after this. Stay with us.
Time for the 38th spot trivia. For being one of the most legendary actors, how many Academy Awards has Clint Eastwood won as an actor? The answer, 0. He's never been nominated even as an actor. He has won Best Director for Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby.